Yeah.
I just want to talk to you about something because Danny, this guy, like he just said, 18 years door to door, right? Let me ask you all a question. All right? If you guys had the choice to take $1 million right now or go back 18 years ago and give yourself any advice, which one would you take? You go back yeah, right. Raise your hand if you would take the $1 million. Raise your hand. You'd take the $1 million? You wouldn't go back 18 years? Dougie, get the fuck out.
Dougie, no!
9 years old.
Bro, you can tell him to buy Bitcoin, bro. Come on, you'll be a millionaire. You didn't think about that one. All right, listen, guys. Everyone would take the going back to 18 years. Well, guess what? You got 18 fucking years of experience right here. It's the same shit. This guy has gone through everything that you guys would go through for the next 18 years and struggle and learn and fail through. He's got all the fucking answers right here. He's done all that. So you would be absolutely shitting on yourself by not fully taking in all this info, making the most of this opportunity, taking notes, asking questions, dialing in, because, again, this is worth more than a fucking $1 million. You all just saw that. So without further ado, we'll give it up for this guy, all right? Let's go.
Man, thank you. Cool. Yes. All right. Well, better be fucking good now after that intro, right? God damn. Cool, guys. So yeah, I want to talk, like I've learned a lot. I remember like my first year getting out of high school, getting into the job. Like this is my first fucking real job that I had. And I went in, I went into it thinking that I was going to go into a store and people were going to come to me and buy security systems. This is before solar was even an industry, right? So I drove up to Seattle, Washington, and I went and I thought I was going to go work in a store. So I show up with 6 of my buddies. We were called the deck of cards. I was the joker, my buddy was the ace, another friend was the king, there was the jack, there was the 10 of clubs, and there was the 3 of spades. That was CJ. CJ was a little off, so he got the fucking 3 of spades. So we go out, man, and I had no training. I had none of this. My first day of training, I show up into a room like this full of returned missionary Mormons. I say, God damn, and those guys look at me and start hissing. Have you ever seen the Mormon hiss? It's like they get hecka upset when you start doing that. And so I was like, what am I getting into? My first day knocking, I went and I got dropped off. Me and my manager, we knocked 3 doors. 2 of them weren't home, and one of them was a one-legger. And she said, oh, my husband's not here. Come back at 6. And my manager said, cool, that's a deal for sure. Go back and sign up later. I'm out of here. And he left. And that was my freaking training, right? And so at that point, bro, that was literally, swear to God, that's what it was. I didn't have an iPad. This was before smartphones were even a thing, right? I had the BlackBerry freaking Click phone. Have you seen that movie, BlackBerry, the new one that came out? Remember the Click? Right? And that movie was phenomenal. Watch it. It kicks ass. But I had this BlackBerry Click, and it sucked. And I remember just knocking doors with that, having no clue, no training. And so it took me a really long time to figure it out. It took me about 4 years to master it. And if I would have had more personal training like this, it could have cut down the learning curve. And so I come teaching some of the stuff that I wish I would have known at the beginning of my career in hopes that you can pick a couple different things and apply it to your life to make your life easy. Why I transitioned from running a solar company or that into consulting is because I realized it's not how much money you make, it's how smart you are with it. So whether you make $10 million or you make $100,000, as long as you're smart with your money, you could become wealthy. And so for me, I'm like, okay, well, if money is irrelevant and all it really depends on is your habits on how you spend it, how can you make the biggest impact on your planet? And so for me, I grew up doing door-to-door. So this is like my hometown. And you guys are all going to be here. Either you're going to live in this town, or you're visiting for a couple years, or a few months, or you try this out for a few weeks and you quit. But this is my hometown, and I have an obligation to train and teach you guys a lot of stuff that's helped me change my life. And so, you know, that's what I'm here to do. And I hope that I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress upon you things that I've learned, and hopefully you can get some stuff from that. So I want to go through some of the things that I went through in my journey that I wish I would have learned sooner. And when I started, it was so much techniques. But I realized that if you only have techniques, but you don't have your head in the right place, and you don't have that belief system, this job's going to be a fucking uphill battle. Because my buddy had really good techniques, but he had no belief in himself. And when he got rejected, literally this is the first time, so remember we went up with 6, right? So the 10 of hearts was there. His name was Nick, and Nick got there 3 days before me, knocked 2 days, and the 3rd day he left. I got up there right when he left, and I called him up. I'm like, bro, what happened? Where are you at, dude? He's like, oh, someone told me to F off, and they were not interested, and shut the door in my face. I'm like, wow, really? Shit. We're going door to door? What the hell? He's like, yeah, man, but I got him back. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I fucking pissed on the dude's doorstep. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I fucking pissed on the dude's doorstep. And then I called my mom and she flew me home. And I was like, wow, dude, nuts. And he's like, you know, I'm gonna go start my own business and we're gonna call it Puff and Press. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, we're gonna be going and be a personal training facility where between sets they're gonna puff marijuana and then hit the gym, and we're gonna franchise it out. I'm like, wow, all right. And so he went and did this idea, pitched it to a bunch of people, but what do you think happened when they heard that idea?
They were like, oh, no.
Yeah, they rejected his ass. And then he stopped, and he never went to be an entrepreneur. Now he just works for somebody else right now. And so the thing is as you guys are going through your life, regardless if you guys plan on doing this as a career or you move into our town for good and you're a lifer, you got to learn how to handle this shit. And you got to learn how to deal with this rejection, because whether you're here, like I said, for a little bit, just visiting, want to get some skills, the best thing you can get out of this job is not the money, is the skill set that you develop and the person you become through this job, so that when you transition to the next, you bring a little bit of what you learned here and impact in a positive manner the next industry that you guys go to. And so that's the thing I want to sell you on, is take all the commission out. Over the last 18 years, I made millions of bucks, dude. And I fucking spent millions of bucks. But the thing is, that wasn't the reward of this. It's the person that I've become and the change of who I started as a shithead 18 years ago now to the less of a shithead that I am now. And so the thing is all of you guys can make that same change. You are not one-dimensional bitches, right? This is just like Pokemon. And you can grow, you can evolve, and you can go in and take in the Elite Four. But that's what's so awesome about this group and this culture, is you guys get so much training, and I really hope you guys see the big picture here. Is the better that you develop, the better skills that you gain, the more impactful you're going to be, not only in this business, but in life and everything that you do. Because that's what makes America so fucking powerful, is we can literally, sky's the limit. Look at fucking Will. How old are you, bro?
27.
27. Look at this fucking house, dude. Look at this guy's neighborhood. Like, all of us can get there. And has anyone ever told you they can't in this industry? No. Every single person can change their lives and make it. And so that's the thing is if you want your external to look like this and be amazing and beautiful, it starts with your internal. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is if you want to change your outside, the first thing you want to do is change your inside. And so that's the first part of my content that we're going to talk about today, is your belief system. And so we're going to go into it. How this is going to work is you're going to have pens and papers. I went to a Tony Robbins event. I spent 10 grand on it. And the biggest thing I took away is no matter whatever you do trainings, always do pen and paper notes. Phones distract you and pull you out of your attention. So the thing is you're going to remember certain things. This a little better one? Come on, dog. So we want to start with your beliefs. And there's two different beliefs in this job. And we're going to break it into it right now. There's going to be some writing prompts. Whenever you start thinking about the inside, the goal isn't for me to push motivation into you, it's to pull motivation out of you. So when you're training somebody, the last thing you want to do is just start fucking trying to talk them into getting motivated. The secret is you want to ask them questions and pull it out of them. So that's what we're going to do now to really get the most out of you. There's two beliefs that are important in this job, and that goes into your mindset. Is number one is yourself. And number two, your industry and company. And product. Industry and product, sort of the same thing. But the two beliefs that are important with this, that parallel, is the belief that you have in yourself and the belief you have in your industry, company, and your product. So what I want you guys to do is you're going to do number 1 and 2 and leave some space under there. And what I want you to go through now is write up all the things that you've accomplished in your life that have led you to believe in yourself. So this would be like the highlight reel. If you were to be gone tomorrow and ESPN was going to do a 30-second, 60-second reel on the highlights of your life, what would they be? All the things that have led you to believe you were worthwhile, whether it's your mother, your kid, like, I don't think anybody has any kids in here, but like your parents believed in you, your high school coach believed in you, all the things that booster your belief in yourself. So take a few minutes and start writing out the belief you have in yourself. And then we're going to start writing number 2, but once we get there. And I challenge you to write as much stuff out as you can. When you start running into a block, that is your wall. And to expand your mind, to get more motivated, more belief in yourself, you have to really stay as much concentrated as you can, because what that's going to do is that's going to expand your mind to find more reasons to believe in yourself. You're going to get a point where you've got 3, and I really challenge you to stay focused, stay in it, and try to expand and think of even more, all the reasons to believe. And what that does is that stretches your mind, which then stretches your capacity to go out and work longer hours and be more motivated. So start thinking of all the things that led you to believe in yourself. And I'll give a couple examples here. So take a few minutes. I don't know if you know this, but professional baseball, everyone basically runs it as their own business, and it's not a huge family team camaraderie like you'd think. Some teams are sort of like that, but overall, everybody runs it independently, and they just show up and throw down. So this is not one of those type of industries where you can just show up and do your job. If you lean into the team, you can go far by yourself, but you can go further with everybody. And the steps to going further is opening up when you feel uncomfortable sharing. Because a lot of us have come from families that, are single families and kind of like myself, and it's hard to open up and share your emotions. But the thing is sharing some of the things that you've gone through and some of the things you're proud of is what's going to make this such a familiar unit and take your fucking skills to the next level. And that's the hard part. The doors aren't hard. They are to a degree, but the more that you guys can open up as a team and share and make this a family, it makes it so much easier, because you don't have 50 coworkers, you have 50 brothers and sisters around you working to make this good. So I was 18, I was homecoming king at my high school, right? There was 4,000 kids. I was the fucking man, dude. Every morning we had a TV show, they called it CBTV, and I would be the anchor, I would be the guy who would do funny skits and shit like that. So I got super popular, and I did this stupid fizzle dance during an assembly. And if you guys know what that is, listen to the song, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I did that in front of everybody. And so I essentially was that guy in high school where I was really popular, everybody liked me. And I remember leaving high school, and people are like, yeah, bro, you're probably gonna be a fucking one-hit wonder. And you're probably gonna be that guy that peaked in high school. And I remembered that. And I was like, fuck, dude. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not a one-hit wonder. And so when they told me that I'd have to move across the country to go do a different job, I'd live in Seattle. Who here is from Seattle?
Spokane.
You're from, okay, that ain't Seattle. Spokane's a whole nother fucking ecosystem. Yeah, so as long as no one's from here, I could say this, but dude, fuck Seattle. Those guys are mean as shit. And I remember my first year getting my fucking ass kicked by those guys. And at the beginning of my career, I used a lot of people telling me no to motivate me. And so I just kept replaying all those times where I'm like, bro, these guys think I'm not going to be the fucking man again in my next endeavor, in my next business. So I used exterior things to push me. When I got a little better, I started to learn from the inside. But at the beginning, it's hard to heal that fast, because healing takes a lot of money and therapy. So I used all of the dark side, the evil fucking energy, like, fire, competitions, fuck this guy. I remember my basketball coach, I don't know if he has Instagram, but I said it a couple times, I'm not going to name his name, but I was big into basketball, right? And my basketball coach never let me play fucking senior year. Senior night, I'd been in the program since I was 7 years old. I was this height at 12, 6'3", so I was good, right? I'm not just some fucking, schlep rock. So I was in there, and then a fucking senior night came around, all my family came to watch me. I didn't play. I was the only guy who didn't play. So there was all these little things on the outside that was like, hey, fuck this guy. I'm not going to let all these people bother me. So I moved out to Seattle, and a couple of my friends that went with me ended up quitting. And I used that exterior shit to really push me to get out there and do it. And I started finding people that were doubting me to get me going. If you do that forever, it's unhealthy. But at the beginning of your career, you've got to use that fire to push you. And then you can start utilizing the other stuff to get you a little bit more healthier. But, so, for example, I left. I went to Seattle. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to start taking risks. At 25, guys, is when you start losing that risk factor, where you've got that twinkle in your eye and you want to change your life. And so if you start getting in the habit of doing hard shit before 25, you'll get consistently engraved in doing it. I'm very fortunate at a young age I got into this job, because this job, if you don't fucking sell and get better, you don't get paid. So I'm still here, I'm still eating, and I have a place to live. So clearly you get fucking thrown to the wolves. And so when you bring on these guys and they're new, you got to remember that something's going to happen where you get all in on it, and then you have a chance to quit. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to my best friend, so you guys can draw some parallels on what happens to quit. You guys don't have the luxury of a fucking time machine and going into the future 10 years or 20 years to see what choices happen. So it was my first year, my best friend. Okay, I'm not going to name his name, but me and my best friend started. He was bigger than me, he was better looking than me, he got more women, and he was better with the fucking gift of gab. So we both started, same neighborhoods, knocking right across from each other, right? And the first week, I started getting more text messages from him. Hey dude, this is hard, let's go get some lunch, let's go get some drinks, let's start fucking off a little bit. And I was just like, no, dude, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And then one day I got fucking shit on really hard. It was raining, it was Seattle. My fucking boss was an asshole. They always put the new guys in the rich turf right off the bat. And I was knocking in Bill Gates' neighborhood. All the fucking executives of Microsoft, they threw my ass in this rich fucking liberal area. And I don't know what pisses me off more, rich people or liberals. But both get me fucking pissed. Can I get a hell yeah, Dougie? Hell yeah. So I'm in this neighborhood getting shit on. So I go to my buddy. He's like, dude, let's just get some lunch. I'm like, fuck it, you got me. We go eat linguine. It was the white pasta. What's that stuff? I still remember to this day. Alfredo. Right? I have fucking Alfredo at this really nice restaurant, super fucking bosh in the Microsoft neighborhood suite. And he's like, hey, dude, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I'm like, oh, shit. No, you're not fucking quitting on me, right? I'm in my head. He's like, yeah, I want to go back and hang out with my girlfriend. We're young. We should go enjoy life, have fun. We don't need to be doing this hard shit, right? And so I was like, fuck, dude. Something in my stomach didn't feel right, because I knew I wasn't a quitter, and I knew I wasn't someone to give up when shit got hard. And he's like, yeah, just think about it, dude. I'm going home tomorrow. I already have my ticket. I'm like, bro, what? Yeah. And so he already it was all premeditated. He was gone. So one of my best friends, he was, I think it was like the wild card of the deck, right? And so he disappears and he leaves, and I'm sitting there fucking having to make this tough choice. Do I go and do what's fun and easy versus what's hard and necessary? And I call my dad, and I'm like, dude, what do I do, Dad? My dad's, even though we were separate, I still had a conversation with my dad. My dad runs an auto mechanic shop down in Newport Beach, rich customers, fixes Land Rovers. And he's like, well, dude, you're already out there. How long do you have to go? Oh, a couple months. He's like, yeah, just fucking stick it out. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm here. Let's just fucking commit to it. And I set a commitment to finish the summer, because I sold in the summer program. This was before year-round became a thing. Solar's turned into a year-round market, summer markets. Before solar was a security thing, you'd go out and sell 4 or 5 months out of the year. So I committed to staying all the way to August 31st, and that was my commitment. And I said, I don't care what happens, I don't care how many people shit on me, I'm going to commit, and I'm going to work as hard as I can during those 4 months. And so I went this way, he went that way. And fast forward 10, 15, like 20 years now, where I'm at in my life and where the guys that quit are so fucking different. He still lives with his mom in an apartment with his fiance, and I just closed an $800,000 rental property that cash flows me $3,000 a month. I've got a multiple 7-figure net worth, and that's just under the layer of what it is. It's my thought and my mind and who I developed by when shit gets hard, I didn't want to quit. So some of you guys are going to be in a position where, hey, dude, what happens? So he is in that situation. Another guy has a single apartment, still can't find a woman. Because what ends up happening is if you get away from this challenging shit and you're going to go to a different job, guess what's going to come up in that new job? Challenging shit. So there's got to be a point in your life where you're like, you know what? I'm not just going to run from the fucking challenge. I'm going to push through it. And some of the things that are going to help you push through it is your belief in yourself. But the thing is you can't just have belief in yourself. You have to have belief in number 2. So the next chapter we're going to do is I want you guys to now start writing out the belief that you have in this industry, this company, which is the culture, the people around you, the brothers and sisters that you work with, and the product that you sell. So we're going to turn on some tunes, and we're going to take another 5-10 minutes, and I want you guys to start jamming on your belief system that you guys have under these number 2. Industry, company, product. What's your belief you have in that? And begin. Write this phrase down. They will feel you before they hear you. I get asked, hey dude, what separates you from everybody else? And like, why when you, like I had people shadow me. I went and knocked in New Mexico with another OWE dealer. I had 18 guys on my hip. And they're like, bro, you don't get fucking rejected. And the big thing is because I've done so much work on my belief system that they can feel I'm just not another solicitor. I'm not another peddler. And so this work that we're doing now, you might not talk about it with the customer, but people are smart now, and they don't need to fucking hear you talk about it. They feel it in how you behave, your demeanor, your body language, and all of that. And that's why it's so important to develop this stuff, because if you want to make a difference without saying a word, this is the homework that we're doing. And so write that another one. If you want to make a difference without saying a single word, this is the homework that you need to be doing. In a minute, we're going to get a couple shares. I'd like to go through and break down each of these 3, some of the things that really get you sold on what you're doing. Your gift to this planet is your job. And I heard that from one of my mentors I was fortunate enough to work under. His name's Casey Baugh. He was one of the guys who built Vivint, grew it. And if your gift to this planet is your job, you got to make sure you pick a good one, right? And that's why when you do stuff and you get behind it, you want to make sure you're in the right vehicle. There's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot of industries, a lot of ways to do it, but what separates this that gets you guys so fucking sold on the solar industry? So I want to hear a couple shares from you guys. What has gotten you really sold on what you're doing right now for solar?
Yeah, for me, the people in it, you, Mike McDonald, Taylor McCarthy, the success people have had in it.
Yeah.
The industry for me, for the company, everyone here, all these people, this is what makes me know that, we're going to make it, is all you guys. So it's the people in it. And then the product, I have it myself, all my houses, and all my family has it. We all freaking love it. So, easy enough, right?
Yeah, love it, 100%. Okay, who else? What are we like teetering with or flirting right now with the world scheme? What's going on like on big picture, like with everything in the planet, with the countries?
EMP's going off because World War III, because Russia. Global warming.
Ukraine, Russia. So Ukraine, Russia, Pakistan, fucking Israel, Palestine and Israel, all of these countries are starting shit, right? And if a war happens and World War III happens, how safe are we right now? If somebody wanted to attack the United States, what would they do? They would. But the first thing they would do is they'd take out the power grid. That's ultimately why the private sector has been incentivized so much to get paid so much fucking money to go out and sell solar. Because if we were to be attacked by a foreign country, they would just take out one of the 3 grids or all of them together. Do you guys know how many grids, like the stuff that gets the power here? It's broken up into 3 sections in the United States. There's the West Coast, there's Texas, and there's the East Coast. And it's a 130-year-old infrastructure. The grid was invented by the United States. We're the first country to have electricity into people's homes. Okay? And so our grid is the oldest out there. Some of the ones in Europe and other countries are newer, so they don't need as much maintenance. So our grid is so old that they cannot fix it. It would cost trillions of dollars, and the bills that they're paying now of $200 to $300 would 10x. So they know they cannot fucking just go out there and spend all this money to fix the grids, right? So how do they do it? Is they try to get strain off the grids. And how do they get strain off the grid? Is they get the private sector involved to sell fucking solar. And so that's why the money was cheap, and it's still really cheap to get solar, and that what's it called? Yeah, the tax credits. So they passed this law where they're putting billions of dollars to go solar. And although, yes, it's saving the planet, yes, it's doing this, but it's been a fucking money decision to protect the country. Because the United States, how we make all of our money is because of wars. And so we need to be ready for that, and it's a defense mechanism. And so that's why when we go out there, like regardless of your political agenda or what you believe in or what you're voting for, every home that we put solar panels on, we're literally making America great again.
Hell yeah.
So with that... So for me, that's the thing, is we literally are protecting the country from a fucking invasion, from a war, someone attacking the grid, wiping it all out, and getting pressure off of it. So that's one of the things that's got me really sold on this, because when there's war, there's money. And we are in one of the fucking sections of the country that they're trying to armify against it. And so that's one of the things that we can all be really, really happy about, that this is where the country is wanting to go, and if a war happens, they're going to push more towards us to push it. There's a lot of bad shit that's being thrown around right now about solar, but guys, this isn't just a solar issue. This is a whole fucking country issue. I was with a car salesman the other day. She was telling me the same fucking things happening. The economy right now is brutal, and it's not just solar. So if you're losing faith in this, you think you're going to go to fucking cars and just head out of the park? Think you're going to go start selling houses and fucking head out of the park? It's not it. It's everything. But the thing is of all the opportunities to sell, this is the best one because of the future, right?
And speaking of that, with the economy, it's like, guys, no matter what, the last thing people are going to stop paying is their electric bill. They're going to stop buying fancy cars. They're going to start upgrading their houses. But they're never going to stop paying their electric bill. So even in the worst recession, you're still able to sell people solar because you're just supplementing a bill that they're going to pay no matter what, no matter how bad times get. So it really is one of the only recession-proof industries. And I've seen that in my years and years. And he's seen that. He's gone through some of the worst recessions ever. And he's probably had some of his best years during that time. Because it's like people are still needing this stuff even in the worst of times. And they're literally still paying for it.
Yeah. And so one thing that really excites me, you guys never had to deal with this, but imagine if you sell a customer and the utility company calls up and says, hey, I noticed I noticed your permit come in. Would you stick with us if we cut your bill in half or gave you 2 free years of service? Yeah, fuck solar. Boom. They would do that shit all the time in security. All the time. So this industry, you don't have that happening. Imagine you wake up and you sell 4 or 5 neighbors and then their current company calls you back. Yeah, we talked to APS and they're cutting our bill down for 2 years, or they're giving us free service for the next year and a half. Guys, that was a real thing. So it's fucking lucky. We don't have to deal with that. It actually, our competitors make our job easier. Why? They keep fucking raising the rates like, you dumbasses. Like, you're making our job so fucking easy. So that's the thing. We are so fortunate to be in that. Who'd like to deal with APS if they started cutting rates and have to save customers? Fuck, dude. That would suck. So you guys are freaking pumped, dude. Enjoy it. Now, next. Company, brotherhood, family. What are some things that you guys really, really enjoy or that you guys have belief in Omni?
Will, Cole, Ollie, Kevin, all the guys who I, first started looking up to, like, they're real ass motherfuckers. Not just about sales, but about life.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to get out of the rat race and learn how to do this shit, like, it's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And most people aren't cut out for it. That's why most people don't do it.
Yeah.
And just working together as a team.
Yeah. Love it.
Let's go, James. Love you, bro.
Yeah.
Health comes first. It's like a life quality upgrade.
Yeah. So give her some stats for that.
Let's go, Gracie.
So you want to hear an example? I went to a customer, I did a call for them. And this is the culture of their group is right before the doors, they all fucking slam energy drinks and do fucking lines of blow.
Bro, yeah.
Serious, dude. And you know who the fuck they are, too. And it's like, I heard that, and one of my buddies went with them, and he's like, dude, this is really weird. Like, because dude, that's what it is, man. And that type of stuff is fucking real out there. And so, like, some people are like, oh, this could be a better opportunity. This is another thing. I heard another fucking friend of mine, the same girl that was telling me about the car dealership being tough. The car salesmen are in the bathroom doing blow on their fucking brakes and fucking in the break room. Like, just weird shit, man. And that's why it's like the culture that you guys have in a group and the leaders that you have, this isn't common. Like, there's places and companies that cut on education and personal development and personal health when shit gets tough, but this leadership group doesn't. They have not. And that's why they continue to pour. They keep bringing people out. You guys got my boy fucking McCarthy coming out here the next day, dude. Like, they're putting the fucking best people in front of you, working with Andy Elliott, one of the top fucking trainers in the world. Okay? Like, dude, they are pouring into you guys. Companies aren't like that. A lot of them have cut that shit. And so the thing is, they come out of this with their own pocket to pay because they believe in you guys. And that's the fucking culture that you guys have here. And some of you have maybe been to a different organization that doesn't do that, but I'm telling you, it's night and day on what happens with people that invest in their companies and invest in their people. So let's hear a couple more. What are some other cool things about the group here, particularly on me?
For me personally, I've gotten extremely close with everybody that's working here, even all the new guys. I'm excited to meet all of them. The big part for me, what I saw in everybody that was leading at the time was I saw a future version of myself, of who I wanted to become, and they were already doing the things that I was telling in my head, like, oh, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. They were already in that mindset where they saw the success and how it is to get there, and they've shown me that they will have your back, no matter what. And a lot of companies, especially out here, all they care about is making their pockets, or like, just, oh, we'll get another guy, oh, we'll just replace them, whatever.
Yep.
They show me that they put in their dedication and their efforts into helping everybody that comes work with us grow. And I love that. I love helping people. That's a part of who I am. I'm very empathetic with a lot of people, and everybody has hard times, and especially in this job, you see people that have had hard lives, and when they come in, they risk everything. They step out like that. You came from New York, right? So that's a big step. So, just to see that change and the effect it has on other people, because they find themselves, you know what I mean? Like, I found myself hanging out with these guys, so it's very rare.
Love that. Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love it.
Nick's a beast, bro. That closes 10 deals every month. That guy's a dog. So
Damn, dude. Hell yeah.
a long way.
Love it. And I really resonate with what you say. You found yourself, Same thing for me. I got out of high school. I'm like, dude, what am I going to do with my life? Like, what am I going to be, a doctor, this? And it's like, this is one of those cool things that you don't even need to worry about your profession. You just develop and you just get all these skill sets so that when you ever do decide what you want, you could just go in there and you fucking kill it.